All right, here we go. The news and you. October 22nd. What's in the news and how can we prepare for things like it? Commutes impacted. There was a couple articles in the news this morning about snowfall impacting commutes in some areas, flooding, heavy rainfall, things like that. So whether it's snow, rain, so weather conditions, power outages impacting traffic lights, accidents, it's going to happen. You have to have contingency plans, especially if you know something is going to happen. You should be planning for that. Now, your plan doesn't always have to be written down. It does help to write it down and to walk through it, but it doesn't have to be. It could be, a verbal plan, just something that you think about and walk through. But if you do have a plan, make sure that others know about it. And that's where it helps to write it down. Make sure you're covering off all the plans that you need and that you can go back and review and revise them as your situation changes. So again, we go back to basics and think about fire escape planning from your home. Fire departments always say have two ways out from every room. You should have two ways out from your house. Just expand that thinking. Are there two ways to get out of your neighborhood? Now, a lot of neighborhoods that I've seen, whether when it's been I've been looking to purchase a home, when I've moved to a new place, or whether it's been on calls with fire departments, sometimes you say, wow, there's only one way in or out of this neighborhood. Okay, well, think about that and expand your thinking though. Think outside the box. And there may be one official way in and out, but if it was a real life or death emergency, you had to get out, look at where you could go. Could you, again, safely, could you drive on a path, go across a lawn? You might have to go through a fence. But look and plan, think these things out. How would you get out of your neighborhood? What about your city? What are two ways to get out of your city? I know a friend of mine had said, well, I've got a canoe, and that would be my way out if things really went bad in the city where I live. I would forget trying to get out on the highway, wouldn't take the roads. I've got my bug out bag packed. I would take my canoe, go down to the river, off I go. What about your province or your state? I know here, you often hear, I'm in Alberta, but if you're going to BC, if you're going through one of the passes, sometimes there's only one way or two ways to get through a particular mountain range. So what would you do? Plan it, practice it, and then perfect it. So that little gem is what I came up with. I'm probably not the first to say it, but that's what I came up with this morning. That's my version of plan, do, check, act. Plan it out, practice it, and then perfect it. So take what you learned from your practice and work it back into your plan to validate and make that plan better. House fire sends sparks to neighbors. That was another article. Yeah, that happens. Building codes have changed. Houses are very close together. Some of the siding on homes, it's basically seems like it's solidified gasoline. It just burns right away. And fire is, again, one of those hazards that we need to prepare for. Fires happen all the time. We can't think it won't happen to us. Do basic fire smart planning. Keep your yard clean, remove or limit combustibles. That's called fire load. So if you have lots of things piled under your deck, maybe you've got a fireplace, a wood burning fireplace, good for you. That's good backup planning, good contingency. But don't have all of your wood piled against your house. Keep things neat and tidy. Keep the grass trimmed. Consider the furniture you're buying. Is it pretty much everything's plastic these days, but very, very combustible. If you can build with fire resistant materials, do so. Stucco, more fire resistant than vinyl siding. There's different grades of vinyl siding. You could use metal siding. I know my house that we just built on the farm here is all metal siding and metal roof. And then we have gravel around the house. So that's kind of a setback so that if the fire is coming, hopefully it will slow down or not be able to go across the gravel. Have a fire extinguisher. Could be for a small fire in your home, or if something starts at your neighbor's house, right? If they come running out saying there's a fire in their house, if you are trained and feel confident, responding to that and can do so safely, or hand them the fire extinguisher, you might be able to put it out in the very early stages. Or if something, the spark does catch something on fire in your yard, you put it out right away. Keep a hose handy, even in the winter. I've been cleaning up my yard, getting ready for snow here, which is coming today. And I didn't put all of my hoses into storage. I keep one handy in the garage. So yeah, you may have bled out the water from your outdoor taps or faucets, but in an emergency, you could hook it back up again and spray water. And know your evacuation plan. Again, have those 2 ways out. Where would you go? And think about incoming response apparatus. Don't, maybe have your evacuation point or your muster area for your family across the street. So you have to cross a busy street where fire vehicles will be coming. Maybe go down the block so you can just go across neighbors' yards. Travel advisories. I'm always amazed at how people travel to areas that are either in open conflict or are prone or expecting large natural disasters, very poor weather, things like that, without even checking advisories. So look and see, is it high crime rate, high kidnapping rates, something going on in that area? Is there a hurricane expected? Is a volcano going to erupt? And I know people that have gone to all of these places where all of these things have happened. Monitor the conditions. Have insurance in case you have to cancel. Register with your embassy, your consulate that you're going. Let someone know your itinerary. It's like if you're going, backcountry camping or hiking or doing a big trip, let someone know, here's when I'm leaving. Here's my basic plan. Here's when I'm expected back. And have backup plans. If you can't get to a particular spot, where else would you go? Maybe you can continue your vacation and still have fun. Keep a fanny pack. When you're traveling, you may or may not love fanny packs, but they are awesome. And keep one on your bedside table with your important documents. I've heard many stories of people saying, well, I was traveling in the hotel. There was a fire alarm in the hotel. Everyone was evacuated. And then they had a lot of trouble getting back in because all of their identification was in their hotel room. So you have all of these people coming back into the lobby saying, this is my room. I need to get up there. I don't have my key for my room. I need a new key. They've got to do security checks. Have your important stuff there so you can just grab it and get out. Wills and estates. I remember when I used to do a lot of either tailgate sessions or safety moments at the starts of meetings. And one of the days I was doing this, I did my safety moment was on having a will. And look into it, because if you die without a will, your estate will probably not go where you want it to go. Your wishes may not be known or heeded. Do you want to be buried? Do you want to be cremated? Do you want to be an organ donor? Do you want to give everything away to a friend, a cat, a charity? Whatever it is, look into it in your area. The laws are different for each area. I was just reading this morning, one of the articles was how stepchildren are not treated the same as adopted or naturally born children. Naturally born, I mean, stepchildren weren't born naturally as well, but your natural children. So I've got all three. I've adopted my daughter, I have my son, and I've got a stepson and two stepdaughters. So look into that. Check it with your will. Are you common law? Are the common law rules different where you live? Maybe everything goes to the government, the state, if you die. So look into it. And that's just part of prepping. It's like having insurance. If people say, well, I'm not a prepper. Well, do you have insurance? So you're prepping for that, which is great. It's like risk management. Risk management is found in every single thing we do from the time we get up to the time we go to sleep. We're making these decisions. We may not consider it risk management. We may not call it the same things, but it is. The new analog age, This article was around how retro music media is gaining popularity. I think we'll see this in more facets of life. I think as things get more complicated, more digital, people are going to look, I really think, for getting back to a simpler time. I was watching a show last night, and the kids were just out all playing in the street. And you look at that now and you go, "Ooh, that's a little bit odd to see that when everyone's glued to their devices nowadays." Funny enough, that 8-track Star Wars that's in the picture there, I was just talking to my son the other day saying, yeah, we were talking about the Star Wars Cantina song, and I had that Star Wars 8-track. There we go. Short and sweet. Talk to you again soon.